Hey YouTube, so this is a response to Gracie Breakdown's latest video talking about multiple opponents in a street fight, and I do agree with the vast majority of the information they presented. However, I do think they were a bit dismissive of certain other martial arts in that video, and I do find some of that attitude to be a little bit problematic. I'll get to that later. But I'd also like to mention that they did another video on the topic of multiple attackers 3 years ago, which I think was near perfect. I highly recommend you check it out, and of course I'll be linking that down in the description box. Now that video, was a bit biased towards jiu-jitsu in my opinion, but that's of course completely forgivable. Of course you're going to be biased towards the martial art which you actually train, and I don't have any problem with the information which they presented and the way in which they taught that jiu-jitsu is going to help you in certain situations. So the main thrust of that video was you want to try and defuse the situation, you want to be looking for escapes, and if that's not possible, that's when you need to attack. And how even after you've hit the first opponent, you want to be assessing the situation again. Can I now defuse the situation? Can I now escape? If not, then continue attacking. Rinse and repeat. It's all about you getting away safely. It's not about just trying to destroy the other people. And I completely agree with that situation. Getting away safely is the best thing to do. Trying to escape, if at all possible, is your best option. Now, this latest video, however, I do take a little bit of an issue with. Now, yeah, they have a go at these martial arts which teach this pure fucking fantasy. They'll teach you this 5-hit combo which will take out 5 opponents, which of course the chance of it actually working is millions to 1. It's absolutely ridiculous, and trying to teach that as if that's your go-to thing in the martial arts is downright irresponsible. However, I also think that the opposite point of view is not quite as irresponsible, but pretty close. They're saying, well, just run. That's all you need to do is just run, and that's it. Learning anything else is basically pointless, so fuck it, just run. Now, yeah, running is the best thing, but there are times when running simply isn't an option. So perhaps you've got a bad leg and you can't run, or the other person's just much faster than you and there's nowhere for you to safely escape to. Perhaps your exits are blocked, or perhaps you need to protect someone. Perhaps you're in your own home and you need to protect your home, and maybe they're blocking the exits or something like that. There are times when running simply isn't an option, and that's what martial arts are for. They're there for you in the worst case scenario when all your other options have failed and you need to defend yourself. And yeah, I want to learn as much as I can to improve my odds. Now, yeah, there's no strategies which are going to be completely foolproof. There's no strategies which which can even put your odds over 50% in some situations. But that's not what it's about. It's about raising your chance of survival as much as possible. If a martial art raises my chance of survival from 0% to 10%, I want to learn it. If a strategy improves my odds by 1%, I want to learn it. Because it's a lot better than 0. And in my personal situation, my girlfriend's in a wheelchair. I'm going to do everything I can in order to protect her. Even if the odds look downright suicidal from my perspective. I couldn't live with myself if I let something bad happen to her. I'm going to do everything I can to protect herself and protect her, even at risk to my own life. Now, of course, many other people may be in a different situation or have a different philosophy, and yeah, of course, that's absolutely fine too. But yeah, there's no strategies which are going to be completely effective against single opponents either. Even if the other opponent is completely shit, you could still trip over and bang your head. I mean, strange things like that can happen. Perhaps they've got a concealed knife you weren't aware of, and you try and grapple them, and then they just stab you in the chest. There's all sorts of times when strategies against single opponents don't work too, and I've heard plenty of people say, don't bother learning martial arts at all, just learn to run. And I'm sure that's something which you would strongly disagree with. So yes, I think you should learn whatever you can to improve your chance of survival, and try to escape, and try to defuse the situation if at all possible. Of course, they should be your priorities. Just don't neglect the other stuff. So they go on to say that jiu-jitsu is at the top of the pyramid, and it's the most effective martial art, and therefore people are just shitting on it. Now, I don't shit on jiu-jitsu. I think that it's absolutely fantastic for what it does, but like any other art out there, it has its limitations, and it's only one part of the puzzle. So they talk about if you do get tackled to the ground, jiu-jitsu is going to help you get back onto your feet. And I completely agree with that. Jiu-jitsu is great for that, and it's, like I said, it's part of the puzzle. It's something which you're going to learn. It's something which can improve your chance of survival if you're attacked by multiple opponents. But it's better to not be taken down to the ground in the first place. And that's where other martial arts and other strategies come into the equation. So yeah, it's certainly worth learning some other things as well. So striking arts, definitely worth learning. Especially if you're doing some weight training, you're doing some speed training, and you get yourself as big and imposing as possible. Striking arts are going to help you considerably. So Mike Tyson, for example, if he was attacked by 360-pound punks who don't have any training, I think that he'd have an excellent chance of winning in that situation. At least 99 times out of 100, he's gonna kick the absolute crap out of them. And yeah, he is a heavyweight, but he's one of the smaller heavyweight champions out there. And an average guy can put on 50 pounds of muscle to their frame if they train it. They can get big and imposing enough that people who don't train, are like children next to them. So striking arts, very, very important. Learning takedown defenses, probably more important than learning what to do when you are on the floor, is don't get in that situation in the first place. Just like diffusing the situation and escaping is a way of not getting into the bad situation in the first place. So, of course, hard sparring. You do get plenty in jiu-jitsu, of course, and jiu-jitsu is very, very effective in MMA. And any martial arts which doesn't have you doing hard sparring at all is going to be pretty useless for self-defense. Scenario training, another very important one. So, you want to learn how to defend yourself against multiple opponents. Test that situation out in a safe, controlled environment. Learning strategies. So you mentioned that in the previous video about trying to get as narrow profile as possible between you and your attackers. So I'm here, I've got someone attacking me from this angle, I've got someone attacking me from this angle. I want to be trying to circle around to there so that they're not able to flank me. Simple strategies like that, understanding distance, etc., etc. So, of course, weight training, speed training, very, very important. The more athleticism you have over your opponents, the better your odds. That could improve your chance of survival considerably, and it would end up like you're fighting against children, more like you're fighting against children than adults if you have that superior level of athleticism, which any healthy young man can achieve that through decent training. And finally, weapon training. So in a home invasion situation, for example, I'd be pretty fucked if people had guns. But yeah, you want to learn everything, and you want to learn basically the most effective thing which is illegal in your country. So if I was living in America, yeah, I'd be learning how to use guns rather than a sword. God, we're fucking primitive here. Anyway, yeah, home invasion situation. My exits could well be blocked. Trying to run away isn't going to be an option. But I learn how to use this effectively. If 3 people come into my house with baseball bats, knives, crowbars, whatever, it could even be more than 3 people. I think I stand a pretty damn good chance of survival by learning to use this. So yeah, running is probably the biggest part of the puzzle. Jiu-jitsu, another big part of the puzzle, but there's plenty of other stuff which is worth learning, and I think that Gracie's video was far too dismissive of some of the other martial arts and some of the other strategies which are out there, and their older video I thought was far more complete and offered far better information. So thanks for watching, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.